Welcome to the Psychic News Report. In this featurette, we're going to talk about the historic first in a generation visit of Russia's Vladimir Putin to North Korea. We'll be right back. Thank you for tuning in to the Psychic News Report. I'm Annabelle. I'm here with my colleague Debbie from Tarot and Pause. How are you
Hi,
today,
everybody.
Debbie?
Doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm great. Not so comfortable with this situation with Vladimir Putin over in North Korea. I have some serious concerns that this may be the formation of a new Axis power. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it kind of, when I saw that this morning, I was reading the news, it kind of, I went, okay, this is not good. This is making me very nervous.
This is making me very nervous. We do get into a situation, and I've said this before in some of our other broadcasts. Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, the leader of China, have some very, very similar history, and they have been working together fairly well. So if we add North Korea into that, we do get a little bit of a Axis power kind of feel here. We
Yeah,
all know North Korea would love to have some really big ammunition behind them. Russia can provide that. The first thing I want to do is I want to see what's their main discussion point. Now, I'm going to bring out two different decks. I'm going to have our standard Rider Waite here, but I also have the Hydesville Tower, which is just a major arcana deck. We use major arcana decks when we want to look at really grand scale things. Creation of Axis powers, that is a grand
that's
scale
it.
thing. That's something that
Exactly.
we need to really look at. So I'm going to pull up our card view. But before I do that, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We're a brand new channel. We're really trying to expand. We've got some cool stuff set up for you for this summer. And we'd really like to get to our 1,000 subscribers before Labor Day here in the United States. So, Debbie, let's go. We're going to pull up the card view.
All right.
And I'm going to lay them down for us and we'll see what's what. So, what was their main discussion? What are the main things that they're sitting around talking about? I'm going to use the Rider Waite for the general. And then I'm going to use the Hydesville, again, our major arcana deck. I'm going to use that for the dominant energy and the shadow energy. So, Deb,
Ooh,
I'm going to let you
magician.
take the lead on this one.
All right. So we've got the magician down there. Oops. There we go.
That was me shuffling the camera around. Sorry about that. We've got
That's
the
okay.
magician in reverse, the star in
Stop.
the dominant energy position, the page of cups upright, 8 of cups upright, 9 of swords in reverse, 7
Yes.
of wands, and the ace of wands in reverse. So pretty interesting layout we have here.
Yeah. Normally, if I would see if the Nine of Swords was in the upright position, I'd go, oh, some. But being reversed, the feeling, in my humble opinion, well, if you, it's like they are China, North Korea, Russia. They're turning their backs to the Western powers. They're deciding to go forward with this, and you have the Eight of Cups. They're walking away. They don't want to. They want to form a new group. I don't want to say the history World War II term, but yeah, and I feel very strongly with the Seven of Wands that they're tired of battling. They're tired of standing there and having poking from the West, always poking, and they're like, no, I this is what I'm feeling on this one.
So,
that
I'm getting a very interesting vibe here with the star card because we know that China has wanted to dominate the financial systems of the world. They have really been positioning themselves to do that. And I think this star card really does kind of, and again, this isn't specifically about China, but this is about what is their main discussion. I think the main discussion really is going to be about creating this alliance, if you will, if we were on the show Survivor. But it's really about creating an
yeah,
alliance to strengthen each other and have each other's back, and not
right,
be
yeah,
that one nation that's out there doing things on their own. Here, there is safety in numbers. We are balancing
yes,
out the unevenness of Russia standing on its own against the West, China standing on its own against the West.
right,
We are making a balance here. Adding North Korea in is going to create a better balance for Russia at this point. Now, the card that stands out for me the most is this Ace of Wands. This is very alarming. Ace of Wands is a very destructive kind of entity. Now, astrologically, I'm no astrologer, but astrologically, yesterday was a very significant date. There's a number of astrologers that have been highlighting that date as very critical in terms of the three numbers and the W's at the beginning of it. So, there's been some concern about the last couple of dates. Yesterday was the day that they met. So, is this bringing us to the threshold of a world situation? Now, we are going to have
well,
several theaters if that's the case, because we have trouble in Gaza and Israel. We have trouble in Ukraine. We have trouble in Taiwan.
I
Taiwan
liked
has
how
had,
you pronounce you. I loved how you pronounced Ukraine
oh, thank you.
with that little Russian.
Thank you. It's all the years of studying Russian. So, I think we really get into, we're getting into kind of picking our team members. I feel like we're playing kickball in a much bigger sense of the word, but
Yeah,
we're picking our team members
the
and we're picking ones that are going to go with us.
the Ace of Wands. What when I saw that, it just it's sort of like North Korea to me. It just like that's the wild card in a sense. Um, I'm not, I'm concerned about China and Russia. I'm really, really concerned about North Korea because there's such a secretive society. You can't figure out what he's thinking, and he's kind of like I'm trying to think of a term like he's like for
Unreadable.
one, I can't think of he just I don't you don't know what he's going to do, and it's that's frightening. That card right there, and that's what popped into my head was sort of what represented North Korea to me. That's very, very concerning.
Yeah.
You know, I
And
I I don't.
I think the interesting thing is that we have that magician in reverse here. So, for
Yeah,
me, the magician in reverse is sometimes someone who doesn't have all of his ducks in a row, or maybe needs some help getting those ducks in a row, or maybe needs somebody. I have the peanut butter, you have the chocolate. Let's get together and make a Reese's peanut butter cup. This magician in reverse says to me, we're putting pieces of the puzzle together. We're putting them
yeah,
together so that we can be relieved of the stress that we have from leaving the world party line, the earth party line, and we're getting into a more comfortable position together. So let's not beat this reading up too much, because it looks pretty scary to me. I don't know. I'm a little bit alarmed. Um,
yeah.
you
It
know,
wasn't exactly a bells and like ooh puppy dogs, rainbows. No.
No, no, there was no delicious Russian pastries on that one. I'll say that. So let's see, what kind of promises is Putin making? We're going to drop some cards on this. And if you have not yet subscribed, please go over and hit the subscribe button. Do it for us. Do it for Debbie and her three dogs over at her channel. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is now. I want to remind you, Deb, those wands, that's firepower. That is fire power. in the actual sense. So we've got six. Again, this is what is Putin promising Kim Jung Un. He is
You got
promising him
money,
generosity. Well, this
money.
doesn't have to just be money. Remember, this can be
Right.
other things. He's going to give, 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 give. Here, temperance in reverse. I jump right over to the temperance because temperance is again evening up that playing field. We have the King of Wands here and the Page of Wands in reverse. I think they're going to put things into his hands that he's not able to handle. What do you think?
Yeah, temperance. If you look at the card, you've got one foot in the water, one foot on land. They're trying to balance. Um, the Star card in reverse. Ooh.
I also want to remind
Uh,
you that the temperance card with those two cups in the Aleister Crowley, the Thoth Tarot, we've got alchemy going on with those two cups. So, while the water in the Rider-Waite deck, the traditional deck, is defying gravity, being a little bit unwater-like, not splashing all over the place, and it's having control over that element, there is a suggestion of some alchemy here and some chemistry, if you will. So I think we've got some bad chemistry going on here with our firepower here and the inability to really wield that correctly. So I'm a little
yeah.
concerned about that temperance card in addition to your concerns about it. So what do
It
you think
wouldn't.
about this two
Yeah.
of cups?
Well, that's the to me that's the Russia. See, I'm more concerned about well, you've the I'm more concerned about North Korea. I think North Korea is gonna just I don't know. The two of cups. Well, upright, it's very happy. It's like it's a partnership. In
Yeah.
reverse, it's they're. I don't think the feeling I'm getting is I don't think anybody trusts anybody else, and they're doing this because they have to.
Yeah, I think this is, don't you worry, you won't have to rely on the West for anything anymore. I
Yeah,
will I
yeah.
will bring you up. I
But
think we're getting that. Under the surface, Putin is promising to let his guard down. I think he's letting his guard down just enough. Just enough. He's
yeah,
KGB, he's
I don't.
former KGB,
Yeah,
so he's not going to let it all
yeah,
the way down. But I think
no.
he is letting his guard down a little bit with Kim Jung Un. So
I think
very
yeah,
curious.
he's because he he doesn't like we don't know what that guy is thinking. We have no idea what's going on there. It's the most secretive, closed society that I've ever. I wouldn't even. I couldn't even imagine the people. But see, they don't know anything. They don't see the outside world. They have no clue.
Yeah.
But
So
he's
let's
such.
see. Let's see what promises are being made by Kim Jong Un to Putin. You're going to do this spread. You ready?
All right. Yes.
Oh, oh.
Oh, great. Jeez.
Holy moly, what kind of promises is he making to Pootie? Oh my God. Lay it
Oh, this
on me,
is
girl. What do you got? I know, I
okay.
know.
1, 2, 3. Usually, my teacher taught me that when there's a lot of major arcana on the table, this is a big message.
The big message. It
Uh,
starts out with major arcana, bold and loud.
yep.
So remember, this is what is Kim Jong Un promising Putin.
You say that again. You froze up. I think it's my internet.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. What is Kim Jong Un promising Putin? While Debbie's thinking about that, guys, just want you to know Debbie is down in the Panhandle in plus 100-degree weather. Her internet is being a little bit slow. I'm over here on the East Coast suffering under the heat dome. It is June 19th, Juneteenth. And we are hot and our internet is just running a little excessive. So, Deb, when you're ready.
Okay. All right. So we have the moon in reverse here. So he's trying to uh, tell Putin that don't be afraid of us. We're brothers in arms here. We're good. Um, the tower, that one's kind of thrown me today a little bit.
So
I'll be
the
honest with
tower
you.
for me, the tower in reverse is usually mistakes made that caused problems. So I think he is going to let Putin really see the state of the country. Putin's not going to write us a report or post it on his social media what he saw in
Right.
North Korea, but I think he is getting full disclosure of the country, and he is offering. We did see it with the Six of Coins on the last spread. He's offering to help. I think Kim Jung Un is saying, "Hey, I need a leg up here.
Yeah.
This is the state of our things. Can you give us a
And
hand here?"
I think also with Kim Jong Un, they desperately need money. They desperately need outside, but he won't take it from any of the Western countries. He
Right,
feels
right.
he
On the
feels
outside.
aligned with Russia, and he wants to. His country is in dire straits, and I think that's why he's going to be a little bit more receptive, because then you've got the Four of Wands, the nostalgia, peaceful life, everything's going to be fine. And I mean, I know Kim Jong Un is a little, to most people, but I know he can't be that stupid to realize that his country's in a lot of trouble.
Right. And
And
I do think that he is going to leverage this relationship in order to improve his country at a
yes.
cost. So he is going to,
Oh,
but
yeah.
this is what he wants. He actually wants to have somebody come in and create an alliance and offer some better stuff for his people. Why not?
And I,
He's
yeah,
throwing caution to the wind.
I believe, I think China already does some business with North Korea. I'm not sure on that, but I think I've seen something, or they will accept Chinese products, things like that. So,
Yeah,
but
I think there is some cooperation there, which you
yeah,
don't see in all of the Asian countries. So, this is, I think, a pretty serious thing. I think he is offering glasnost in order to get an exchange and get some support for his country. So we've got one last question on the table. And I just want to remind everybody that's watching, if you have questions about this, if you would have questions of things that you want to see in future readings, on this subject or on any others, please comment down below. We are totally open to exploring other newsworthy things, newsy things. Definitely want to take a look at it. World news is one good thing, but Rick Paul and I did a a view on the panda chows that they had in China, which was a lot of fun. We'll look at royal families in other countries, but really important that you subscribe, comment, like this video, help us grow, help us shine over here, and we'll keep bringing you some entertaining news like this. So the last question that we have, Deb, is this the formation of a new Axis power? During World War II, we had the Allies and the Axis. So is this what we're seeing form? Now, we do have the issue of NATO. NATO has been poking the bear in Russia, so to speak. So they have been really poking that bear and threatening with some interesting actions against him. This feels to me very much like we're getting an alliance and a formation of the Axis powers. Is that what we're going to see? Is this going to be something akin to our Axis in World War II? Let's bring up that card view and hopefully not scare everybody. Judgment. We've got Knight of Pentacles in reverse, Page of Pentacles upright, Four of Pentacles in reverse, the Seven of Wands in reverse, and the Ace of Cups in reverse. I'm going to say, yeah, we're starting to see a formation, but I don't think
Yeah.
we're done yet. I think we're going to see more countries being brought into that. So I don't know. Does this bring Iraq, Iran into the picture? Who's going to be next? I think we're going to see some more. This Ace of Cups, the first thing I saw when I dropped this was the Legion of Doom from the Super Friends. I know you know that show, Deb. I know our viewers that are of an age and American know that show.
Yeah.
It was the Super Friends and the Legion of Doom. It was a
Yeah.
cartoon Saturday mornings. We watched it when we were all sugared up. So the judgment here, in their perspective, this is a good thing. We are creating an alliance against people that are working against our country's means and ways, basically. The Knight of Pentacles, it's in reverse because it is in contrast to what the other organizations, and I think this is specifically leaning into NATO, what they are pushing for. The Page of Pentacles, remember what I said before, when we get an ace, it's the job shows up. We see the ad, the listing on our Indeed, our LinkedIn, whatever. Page of Pentacles, we're in the job. We're starting day
Yeah.
one. We're figuring out who we're going to have lunch with and where our cube is.
Yeah.
So, that I think is really important for us to remember. We're going to see this. They're not going to keep it undercover for long. And I think they're really going to be working at tipping the scales and making sure that they have a good kickball team. I hate that I made the suggestion that this was a kickball team when it's probably more of a dodgeball game. Down
Dodgeball. Yeah, that was exactly.
dodgeball. I actually
Yeah.
almost bought a dodgeball the other day, but everyone knows that
I
noise.
love I love playing dodgeball, and I'm so sad that you can't do that anymore in
Well, you can
school
do
because
it at
I
your own
love
house.
dodgeball. Yeah, that's right. I can
So
play.
having the Seven of Wands and the Temperance card in reverse is really curious in this reading too, because this again, and we saw this a little bit earlier, this is about leveling the playing field. This is about creating an alliance that is going to be more beneficial to both parties and more beneficial to the countries that are involved. Deb,
It's
psychically, intellectually, do you think we're seeing, some really serious moves here?
well, I think not to um, you know I feel we have pushed Putin to do this. And I'm not, a big Putin fan. I'm not trying to, please don't take it the wrong way. I just
Don't
think
worry, I
that
get a piece of that all the time.
yeah, I think that we've done things and we pushed, and finally he just said, "What is the Russian word for enough?" I don't know that one. And
Visio,
I
visio.
yeah, I think he's doing it to protect his country, because it's like he's being surrounded, and it's like we're not we're sort of becoming, and I hate to say this, we're sort of becoming the bully in the playground, and I think this is a move for self-preservation. And
Yeah, and it's and I've said this on the channel before, and I've said it, personally, privately, and again, I am no Putin fan, but I do think that he is a remarkable world leader at this point in time, and I think there will be a lot in the history books about him. There will be a lot of discussion about the moves that he has made and the things that he has done. But I think that NATO has been pushing him to the brink. I think there
exactly,
have
I
been
agree.
too many
Yes.
things said. And I think the West has really underestimated Russia, specifically the American administration. I think the American administration really thinks that they are the Russia of the 1950s or 1940s even. They really have
Well,
underestimated their intellectual technology, and I don't mean their infrastructure. I mean the way that they think technically about politics, about world politics, and
but
about
but
how their
yeah,
country is going to stand on the world stage. Russia has
And see,
always been somewhat of a xenophobic country.
right.
They like Russia for Russia. They have, I think it's a minimum of 27 different cultures within their country. It's a tremendous country, so it's very hard to kind of gather those masses, and they really do want to lead that large country for that country. So again, not sympathizing with them, but I do understand where they're coming from, and I do think that we underestimate them here in the West. That's just my
Well,
opinion.
and my thing is also with our current administration, it's like they're living back in the 30s and 40s and remembering, and they're not, and they're they're making, like a joke. Oh, that this we don't have to worry about them. And I think a lot of this has come about between NATO pushing, uh, our administration not taking anything seriously, looking at this like, it's, they're not the Soviet Union anymore. That dissolved. This is a whole different ball game, and
Right.
that's the problem. We're looking at this. Our administration is looking at this like we're dealing with, the old Soviet Union, the old, Gorbachev and all those guys, and it's not. It's totally different, and you can't just keep, you know, stirring up trouble, poking the bear.
Poking that
You can't.
bear. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just as a final word, one of the things that, I took away when I was studying Russian is that my Russian professors always told us, in order to speak Russian, you have to think differently. And that is something that our diplomats and our analysts in our government have a hard time doing. They have a hard time stepping into that Russian way of thinking, that Russian culture. It's actually beyond culture. Just for example, there's a variety of different words for going for a walk. They do have recursive verbs where you would say, I'm going for a walk, and it means you're going to the store and coming back. But they do have some words like guliat. That's a verb that you just go for a walk. You just go for a wander. You don't know if you're coming back. Getting and that's boiling down to a very simple point, but wrapping your head around the difference in that. A better example may be that, the verb to have doesn't really mean to have in Russian. It means to me. I have this mirror to me. You don't really possess it, so it's a little bit of a different thinking. And I by no means am a Russian linguist. I'm just a student of Russian language. Я говорю говорю чуть-чуть. I speak a little. I speak enough to be dangerous. I can
Yeah,
find a
that's
bathroom
me.
and order some borscht. So no, I can actually speak a little bit more than that, but it's very curious. And Deb, I had just recommended to you to read Putin's playbook. I'm in the
Yes,
middle of listening to it on Audible.
I've got that on order because I just think it's very, very important. See, I'm a history nut, and I always look at things and I see, um, I see things that have happened before, or in the past, and I'm like, why are we going this way again? Hello, and I think a lot of our trouble is we don't emphasize, we don't teach history like it should be taught, and I think people forget. And in
I
in
agree.
in Russia, or even in Europe, see, we're always spoiled. We have never had a war here except for the Civil War. We've never had anything
Touch
that
wood.
World War II was over in Europe. It was not, physically here. And I think we get complacent at times, and we forget that, wait a minute, and you see a lot of parallels when you study history. And I love history, and I just see, I'm like, wait a minute, we've been down this road before. What are we doing? Why are we doing this again?
Yeah. Well, I
So
think we're gonna have a lot to look at in the
yes,
next couple of weeks. So once again, everybody, thank you so much for watching this.
yes,
We're
thank you.
really trying to bring you the news, bring you the psychic scope, make sure that you're well informed, and we'll give you some a little bit of different information. I will put a link to Putin's playbook in the description of this video as well, just so if some of you want to listen to it or want to read that and understand a little bit more from the intelligence here in the United States. It's written by a woman who was a nationalized citizen. She was born in Russia or Kazakhstan, I believe. You know, she does give her opinion, and she did work for our State Department. So there are portions of the book that were redacted, important parts in her opinion, and she does express that in the prologue. So let's just keep an eye on this, and we will be back with more information. If anything comes up, we will be sure to let you know first. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the future.